Hello, everyone. Some days I feel like we're living in a simulation. I'm just gonna open up like this by saying, yeah, I feel like we're living in a fucking simulation. Did I hope some of you or any of you saw the chart. What is this? Okay, no, that was for the thing. I hope some of you saw the chart that showed up yesterday, last night actually. But because boy, oh boy, was that funny. it was. There's something funny about the fact that this unofficial notice is printed on A4 or like A5 paper and is handed out to every single person in the audience, and then it's on this like giant, almost what's it called again? A plasterboard. It's on this giant cardboard board that he just pulls out and just looks at. It says this stuff. There's it's funny because this is also a crazy thing given what we're going to be doing today. Today, I said last night was finance day, and in fact, I planned this about a week ago, week and a half ago. So I knew that I wanted to do this bit, but I didn't know when, except for like a couple of days ago when I was like, today is a good day to do it, and I don't know why. I woke up and I said, okay, a couple of days ago, today is a good day to do it. I'm pretty sure I'm now 7 for 7 on predicting pretty major global catastrophe levels of changes in the world, or just major changes, right? I'm pretty sure I predicted this. I accidentally was away for like multiple assassinations. Like I was like my alibis are getting very thin, very very thin. But I want you to know I'm not responsible for any of these. I just happen to not be in the right place at the wrong time, or in the right place at the right time. Right? I'm always at the wrong place and the wrong time. Um, I just want you to know, nothing about the stream or what I do behind the scenes of the stream has any bearing on what you see here. It's just a bit of a weird coincidence. Anyways, today we're going to be doing some finance today. It's not going to be me talking about finance. We're playing financial games today. Although I think one of them failed to download because I didn't know this. Because I don't know why game developers do this. You know, okay, look, I want you to look at this. This is the. I'm not even kidding you. Let me see if I can save this. Okay, good. We'll save it like this. Okay, we'll save it as a PNG. Okay, good. Amazon Games scam. Okay, this looks like a scam picture. But this is the official Amazon Games application, which many of you probably don't know about. Amazon's Prime program has a Prime gaming section where they let you get free games as part of your Prime subscription to the Amazon Prime service. It's actually a pretty crazy deal because they get you games on multiple platforms, and for some reason their launcher icon looks like this. It's the same thing as like how do I even find this to explain this? Like what's the search term for this? Oh, I know. Scam. Amazon. There we go. Amazon.ca. Well, I shouldn't just say scam. Gold-plated HDMI cable. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Perfect. Yeah. 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 This is it's basically the exact same concept. It feels sleazy and scummy when it looks like this because it reminds me of a gold-plated gold-plated HDMI cable because it has the exact same font and coloring. So if I do this side by side, there's just something funny about the fact that Amazon, which is sort of like it's almost apocryphal the way that it works. Gold-plated HIJK elemental P EFG HIJK. Sorry, yeah, I find it gold-plated. This sorting, this default sorting is so fucking awful. Where did I put it? Oh, fuck. Where did I put it? Sorry. I can't find it. What did I just open? I just opened a weird fucking application. Paint along invert. No. Don't do that. No, stop. I don't care about light edit. Where are you saved? Where is this thing saved? How come Paint doesn't tell me gold plate? Yeah, G. What the? It's G. We're in the G section. Oh, there it is. Sorry. There's something funny and apocryphal about the way that Amazon has taken design inspiration from the gold-plated HDMI cable section of their store, which is sort of indicative of the snake oil scam industry that people run on Amazon. Because a lot of the things that you buy on Amazon are basically just scam stuff. Like it's literally just scams. This is just a scam item, right? So when you consider that it's all scams all the way down, and they somehow decide to go with the exact same styling, It's just this. It's just so funny. It's just so funny because there's no need to do this, right? They could have gone with any other design, and I think it would have been a hell of a lot better. Instead, they actually went with this thing, and it just looks stupid. Um, and I don't know what they were thinking. And to be fair, I don't know what they were thinking making their own launcher. But I definitely don't know what they're thinking with this. Sometimes a launcher makes sense. I think when you have something like GOG, that totally makes sense. Because with GOG, you had to deal with things like multiple different platforms. You have to deal with getting money from different places, or you have to deal with maybe the keys that you have can only be used on your platform and not somewhere else. Like there's a lot of like weird things about GOG's game ordering system that makes sense as to why it's so complicated, right? But for something like Amazon Games, I don't know anyone who even uses it except for free games. Like genuinely. And if you go to the app itself, I can't show you because it's my brother's account. It's crazy because the top ticket item on it, which is like in the UI to tell you what is the most important thing, is to look at your free games. If you go to the home section, it's literally just the two. It's just you scroll down a tiny bit, and you get free items in Lost Ark. That's it. There isn't even a store. Like the crazy part is that there isn't even a store inside their launcher. It's just, hey, these are the games that we're giving you for free for some reason. We don't really know why, but I don't really care because it's like, okay, good. Like at least the corporation's giving something to me. Enjoy it. And I don't really understand why they do this, but they do this. And it's fascinating because you wouldn't really expect that from a company like Amazon in terms of like giving away free games. But I guess they still think it's a part of the value add of how can they drive value similar to the way that Unreal Engine does, which is also a bit of a failure. Because I also only use Unreal Engine for free games, so I don't really know what to do here. But I always find it funny. There's just something about the fact that we've fragmented the ecosystem across 4 different launchers, and out of all of them, only 2 are remotely successful. And I would say probably Steam is incredibly successful, and then GOG just happens to be successful because of their mission statement. It's a bit like the way that Firefox is still successful after all this time. It's not because it's good. Well, no, I take it back. Firefox is good, but it's primarily because it's their mission statement. If they didn't have their mission statement, I don't think anyone would like care. And we're seeing this because the moment that anything threatens that mission statement, you get a lot of backlash from assholes like me, right? Where the people immediately go, okay, well, we didn't want this, and why are you doing this, stuff like that. So yeah, pretty interesting to sort of see. I don't know what they were thinking, but it was funny to look at. But thank you to Amazon because their Prime system actually got me most of these games. I'm using my brother's account because it's all tied to his account because I had no clue he had Amazon Prime. My wife and I just go out and buy things if we need it, which is rarer, but when we do, then we go and like buy it. Or we do delivery with like local places, which we sort of know like who they are, and so they're willing to bring it over. But my brother, he was like, yeah, actually, I have a bunch of free games that I haven't been able to like play. Do you want to try them? And boy, oh boy, is it a lot. So when I was redeeming it, I got to redeem the GOG keys on my personal account. But yeah, you have a shit ton of games on various different platforms, all for you to play. And they just give it away like candy. It's like it's constant. It feels like every single day. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. So I've been stocking up. I got a bunch of stock trading games today. It's all stock trading games. So we're not actually doing real stock trading, but we will be doing a mock stock trading system, which is going to be interesting. And also, one of the downloads didn't fully finish. This one shouldn't be too bad. How large is it? It's 1 gigabyte. Okay, we'll do that after during a song break or something. I'm not really sure how this is going to go. It's going to kill the bit rate, so I don't want to do it now. But before that, I have one more thing to show you, which I actually thought was kind of cool. So there's a little game that we've been playing called Infra, and it's by a company called Loist Interactive, and they have a ton of very strange material around Infra. Like they have a huge built-up series of lore around it, and they even have a full fake city for it. And it makes sense because if you go to if you look up Loist Interactive and you go to the wiki of the game, you learn that actually it's like an offshoot of a larger company that does actual business stuff. They just do games on the side. So it's kind of crazy that the games on the side are some of the best games I've played in a very long time. In the sense of, this is a very fun puzzle game with a lot of love and care put into it that you can feel, right? And then now the survival game is like it feels so fresh to be homeless. Um, but because of that, they also leverage that when they actually build out the lore of the game. So this is, I know this is weird to see. It's just a GitHub repo, but they made an entire map of Stalberg. Not even like the infra version of what you play, but an entire map of a fake city that doesn't exist. This whole city doesn't exist. There's nothing about this city that's real. Like, you have sections of it that we explore within the game, but the existence of the city as a whole, it just doesn't exist. It's a weird fake pseudo Finland-esque or like Finnish city apparently. It's based off of this idea of like, what if you take like a metropolitan Finnish area and you just build a whole thing around it? And they done wonders, because look at this. There's like a whole series of stuff that we didn't even see. Apparently, a lot of this stuff is in the in-game itself. Like there's maps around the game that you can see that actually shows this stuff. And I need to ask someone why map tiles, they never seem to stay loaded in. I know, shouldn't the map tiles stay loaded in if you're like barely off of it by maybe a couple kilometers? I feel like it should just stay loaded, though. How much memory? There's no way it takes up that much memory to keep it loaded, because why does it keep reloading? Anyways. But they built it out. It's full city districts. I don't know if city districts are really planned like this, because these look like incredibly clean lines, and I would say that in real life, even my city looks a bit like a shithole. In the way that they planned the city lines. I also don't think they would get this nice within a very dense area. I would have expected this to be fragmented like three different ways, like boom, boom, boom. But other than the very suspiciously clean lines, they nailed the lines further out in the suburbs. I think these suburban lines are very, very interesting. If you go to any map in the world and you look at this, well, any map in the world of a place that has like suburban downtown versus like rural, and you look at suburbia versus downtown, it really is a bit like this, where you have all this density in the middle, and then you've got all this like, I don't know how to say it, but this like lifelessness as you get further and further out. They have a lot of information about the weather and stuff around these places, and these little pins actually tell you what you're, or show you where Mark went on his journey. So we can see, for instance, the water plant that he went to, the Hammer Valley. This is where you start the game. So you start the game here, and your office is like in the game. It's like, is it here? No, that's the Osmo Loop Brewery. That's the Osmo Loop Brewery in the open sewer. What? There's a brewery inside the open sewer? Stahlberg Steel Factory. Where's the office? Pitt Heath Sludge Canal. No. Pitt Heath Metro Station. No. Stahlberg Central Water Plant. No. Central Metro Station S&W Bunker. No. Where's the office? Castle Rock Island. What? Oh, right. That's the island that we ended up at the very end. Point Elias Business Street. This is the El Sista building. So Mark, for some reason, was tasked to drive from here all the way up to here. And like, look at the path that you have to take to drive here. It's kind of cool to sort of visualize this. It's why it's such an interesting project, because you get to visualize how this person moved around and how they got to this place and how the whole series played out. And it contextualizes all the movements that you do, because the game, it's built on Source Engine, but also it has to do map loading, because you can't just walk in a continuous line, right? So you lose that sense of directionality and that sense of scale very, very quickly. You lose that context very quickly as you're going through the game, because we go through bunkers, we go through underground places, you go through above ground places. But now we see poor Mark here had to go take like a trip up to the highway, which has one of these fucking weird connectors. I don't know what these things are called, but I swear there's a real term for them. He drives all the way in the highway for hours, and I don't even know what this thing means. What does it even mean? It's like a void crossing? Because if you can't go here, you have to go all the way up here, and then you need to take, but you can't continue down because it takes you to the Collector Railway Station, which goes nowhere. So, and then there's also this Two Gorges generic water. So you have to go all the way here. You have to take a right. You have to pass by Turnip Hill. So this explains why we pass through it in the game as well. You go here. You then go up here to this connection near Cop Forest, and then you go all the way up. This is at least like a multi-hour drive. And what's crazy too, like look at the road connection here, okay? I'm actually wrong because you can't even get off at the highway onto the small road. I don't know why you would design a highway like this, but that seems awful. So I guess you got to get onto the yellow road. How do you get onto so you got to go this here. So you travel inner city downtown. That's awful. The traffic must be insane. And you go up and you keep going. But you can't, like, there's these connection lines over here. So maybe you can go this way. You go up this artery and you continue here and you end up finally at the beginning of the game, Hammer Valley. Wow. And it's kind of cool to see because then you see his path. You go from Hammer Valley, you go to the Bergman water tunnels. Maps Reserve 3? What? Oh. Wait, it's actually like a wiki link. Oh. Oh, there's also like massive spoilers. Oh. And you see his pathway going all the way back to the office. Because the whole point of the game is you finish it at the dam, you go into the water tunnels, then you need to get back to, then you have to get back to the office, right? So you end up in the Stahlberg Steel Factory. This map genuinely pissed me off. Then you go to the brewery outside. I remember this portion. You get to the brewery, you get to the water treatment plant. This is the one that it collapsed, I'm pretty sure, with the water tunnels. This is the one with the weird hacker den outside. And then Pitt Heath has the metro station, which is over there. So you're in the metro station. And then you take the tunnel somewhere. You take the tunnel here to the central metro station. Like, it's kind of cool to see the pathway backwards into what you end up doing inside the game. And the path is logical. But it's so logical that it makes me wonder, is that a result of the fact that every road is logical? Or is that the result of the fact that they engineered this whole thing from the ground up? I don't really know. So you go down the bunker. Which, I mean, I guess this one's optional. But also, I'm worried if I click on this. Okay, well, I didn't even know about S&W, so this is all spoilers. I guess I shouldn't have clicked on this. And then you go down here, you go to the runoff system, which is where Robin would have been if he was hanging or something. There's a power station over here, which we fixed. Castle Rock Island, which is with the cool castle. Then you get to the Point Elias Business District, back to the office. And then you go, what is this? Mark's home. What? Ending 2. The home of Markku Siltanen. That's his face? Wow, he looks kind of weird. He actually lives, that's actually kind of a nice spot to live because you're close to the office. Anyways, so you then go up to the nuclear power plant, which I'm assuming is here. Yeah, you go up to Turnip Hill. You get to the villa. You go to the open sewer. Well, I guess we didn't go to the open sewer. Actually, I guess you could have gone to the Osmo Loop Brewery within the open sewer area. But I never saw this, so I don't really. What? Osmo Loop Brewing Company is a relatively young company in Stahlberg. Why is there so much? This feels like a weird fake Wikipedia. There's something odd about the fact that this whole thing feels like a weird. Why is this? What is this? It's like a person. It's like a person who say, "Please, I need water," and then Jesus pointing at the beer bottle, saying, "There's your water, buddy. I turned the water into beer." Anyway, so you go from here. I'm assuming maybe you get to this portion in the game. This is the Black Rock. I'm assuming the flooded area is this whole section back here, which is fucking awful. I hate the boat section. Two Gorges Dam. What's weird is that Two Gorges Dam is here. So your character goes from Two Gorges Dam to Hydrohammer Valley. So you go from here. This is where you start, I think, and then you go all the way to the Hydrohammer Valley itself. Or is it? Did we go here, or was it just a part of the story? I can't recall anymore. I'm pretty sure we were at some dam. Reserve 1. What is this? The river area surrounding preceding Hammer Valley Dam. What? Preceding Hammer Valley Dam? I don't think it is preceding, man. It's like, isn't it over here? That's kind of far away from preceding. How's this? I don't even think the river even connects, man. Because the water comes in from here, and then it flows into the main, channels. And the water over here is coming from this northern area, right, from the ocean, underground into the main section of the city. I don't think this actually is connected correctly. I don't know. It feels weird. Or maybe it's like a retcon. And then there's also this thing over here, which was for, I think, the DLC, which is probably going to come out at some point. Wait, is there? The exact release date of this game is unknown, especially due to the development of Lois Interactive's newest game, Obenser. Well, that's how it goes. But yeah, it's a pretty cool look at sort of how it's supposed to be. Apparently they had a fair amount of it made, but presumably they're going to be moving away from the Source engine. I would be surprised if they stay with the Source engine, given that OpenSur is within Unity and they're rebuilding the entire thing. And I also wonder why they did that too, because I've also seen other games that have successfully tweaked the source engine to their needs. Like, a lot of people don't know this, but Vindictus is within the source engine, which is weird to think about for like a pseudo MMO game. But I imagine it must be possible on some level, and maybe it was more a decision of do we even have that time. But I thought this was a cool map to show. I figured it would be fun to sort of look at for a bit, because it's one of those things that you don't really Sorry, some coffee. It's one of those things that you don't really think about when you're making a game. Is how do you make something alive, right? Because they could have just explained it all away as in, oh, it's just a city, and oh, this particular city is just laid out in this way. But they went through painstaking detail to make it real, to the point where it feels almost absurd. It's almost like an absurdist thing where they didn't have to go that far to make it real, but they did. And in doing so, they've built this beautiful, beautiful city that, you know, really does feel like it could exist in some place and has all the trappings of real life. Because I didn't know this. Water tunnels do exist. We actually do carry water very similarly to this. And it tends to be giant, like large swaths of infrastructure to do so. It's why it's so hard to build a city and why you have to pay taxes to a city, because genuinely there's a lot that goes into making it work, right? But even things like how you plan out your roads and your district lines, right? Let's say this road, for instance. This road actually kind of works because there's people living out here. You can tell because of these weird offshoot branches. These are not fractures in the earth because it's dying or something. No, this is like a country road to the backside of some place. And you can actually see how the railway station is set too. Like this, it's very similar to most cities as well, where you have a larger density of railway stations. I know. Well, is it railway? Let's just say like subway stations, closer to the more dense areas of cities, versus if you're further out, you have nothing. And for some reason, an island, a prison island, gets their own special route towards the prison island, which is also kind of fucking crazy that there's a prison island. This feels like Guantanamo Bay, actually. I guess if you had to put prisoners anywhere, yeah, it'd be on a Guantanamo Bay-esque place. But it's cool to sort of see, right? It's you basically rarely ever see this type of detail happening. Even if you play like a game like Deus Ex Human Revolution, or just Deus Ex in general, where they purport to have this idea of they want these cities to feel like they would actually be real places, you still have a sense of unreality to them. Like there's no way these cities could exist, not just in the cyberpunk sort of fashion that the game is, but more so in the fact that like the layout almost isn't real. The only one that really feels real is Hongsha, which is like the Hong Kong futuresque version of it within Deus Ex Human Revolution. But the cities, for instance, it's like it's very hard to imagine how the cities link together, and that's even knowing sort of what they've written about the thing, right? Like a lot of the connections feel superfluous. But this, even the game info itself, it's fascinating how the game had such a strong level of connection between different areas, and it's fascinating to see how they're able to show that really on a map, and it all makes sense logically based on how your character moved. Because the entire game, and I only realized this after, is just Mark trying to get back home. He's just trying to get back home to his office, trying to do his job, trying to get something done. There's dev commentary? Infra levels. Oh shit, wait, there's actually like full levels. Oh shit, there's like aerial graphs. Huh. Wait, what's Mark's route? I was correct about his route. Holy shit, wait, I'm a genius. This is kind of cool actually, that you see all of this. Satellite? What? This fake satellite imagery of a place that doesn't exist. Actually, you can kind of tell it's fake because they did it lower resolution. Because nowadays satellite imagery is pretty good. And they just kind of like mash together a bunch of a bunch of images to make it make sense, which is pretty neat. But I didn't. Wow, this is like a very detailed map. This is more detailed than I would have expected. But Jesus Christ, this is so hard to read. So wait, so dev commentary is what? Bergman Tunnel, Hammer Valley Dam, Pine Fell Pump Station, Pitwater, Stahlberg Central Plant, S&W Bunker, NCG Office, West Stahlberg Runoff System, Black Rock NPP, Walters Villa. Man, this is weird. Oh, yeah, see, so it makes sense that this was the flooded area as you're walking in. Okay. And then he has this villa beside a nuclear power plant. Flood Wave, Two Gorges Dam. Which I think, yeah, okay, so this is the one. So maybe the Two Gorges Dam was just the news bit, because I can't recall if we went there or if this had the dam too. But this has a dam too up here, so we probably just saw it on the in-game news. What a fascinating level of detail. And again, they didn't have to. Like all of this, didn't really need to exist. They could have just made the game and just said, "Okay, we'll figure it out," right? But the fact that they did shows that they really do care about their weird lore of the place, which is kind of neat to see. I like seeing projects like this. I really do enjoy seeing whenever game developers sort of take that extra mile, because it doesn't make sense, but at the same time it's so fun to see and exposes you, I think, to a whole different world. Like I never really thought about the fact that there's so much overlap between sort of the kind of mapping that you would do, and then the real life mapping that you would have to do as well. And then I didn't even think about the various bits of technology that you would need to build these maps out. Like I'm aware of various open source solutions, but they feel so full and they just take map data from elsewhere that I don't really think about how it all really is built up into something. Whereas like this is a good showcase of like, okay, if you were to start from scratch and you had no real map data, but you had to fake it all, how would you lay things out and how would the whole system work? Kind of cool. Sorry, I rambled on a bit too long about that. We're going to move on to stock trading. But I have one song to start because I have to BRB really quick too. This is a very interesting song in the way that I think it plays out. The music video is a bit sad, I would say. It's one of those music videos that I would say you would need to feel a certain way before you really listen to it, because it's got a lot of... It hints at a much darker story, which it's fascinating the way that this is always done, in the sense of a lot of these songs they try to tell like a very deep dark story, and very often actually I find that when it's attempted, it's a miss. I find they sort of simplify it down so much just for the sake of artistry, just for the sake of feeling, right? In the way that they try to make it as romantic as they can. And sometimes these topics are very just dirty. Not dirty, like grimy. Sometimes these topics are just painful and grimy, and you don't really... Like, there isn't any satisfaction to it. It's actually so awful that you don't even want to feel it. And so, you know, I'm aware that, like, because it doesn't necessarily execute super well on the concept, that it's fair to say that it might be a bit distasteful in some ways, but it's also not the worst offender of this problem that I've seen. Like I've seen a lot of songs that try to tackle heavy topics, and then it's sort of from this lens of like the outside observer, and then it's also from the lens of somebody who actually doesn't really know about it, and it just feels like a caricature, like a series of caricatures dancing around on a stage to some like nice fancy music that you're listening to. This one sort of has that problem, but it's not the worst. It's not the worst of it. It's not the worst offender, and so I think it's still fine to listen to. This one is a really interesting song otherwise, and I really enjoy the way that the song sounds, which is, again, I guess counter to what I just talked about. But I think it's worth listening to just for that sake, and just to really enjoy what it sounds like. But even the lyrics, I think the lyrics are done very well. There's just something about the music video that feels like it's just a caricature of what these characters are going through. So please do enjoy. It's another Vietnamese song, but you know, these are really good songs. That song is really good. Like there's a lot of elements to it that I really enjoy. It's fascinating how there's like two different paces to it, right? There's sort of that slow, thoughtful pace, and then there's that fast pace, almost like very intense, almost in a way sort of reflecting that introspective nature of, and that weird sort of paradoxical nature of thinking. And that weird paradoxical nature of like how your internal thoughts can sort of run. It's like if it's when when you're stuck in your mind, it can sort of like immediately ramp up into a sprint, and you almost can't help yourself. The way that you push so quickly through your thoughts, and the way that your thoughts sort of like race at you, and the way that these feelings rush into you. Like I really enjoy that aspect of the song. I also hate the music video with a passion, because the music video has this problem of most every single music video out there, where they spend too much time on the artistry of the video, but they're better music artists than they are videographer artists. Like it's And also they put the music as second to the music video, which is frustrating because they'll even mix the song towards that. And it was a trend for a while with a lot of Vietnamese music songs, but music videos. But I even think like just with a lot of music videos in general, where they would do a music video, they'd have a whole intro for 2 minutes, 2 goddamn minutes, setting up like context. And I'm like, listen, buddy, if you need 2 minutes to set up context, it might not be worth it's a story that's probably not worth telling in like a small short music video. Not to say that it's like a bad story, but I feel like you can do a lot with the idea of like subtext and implications, right? And then they do this stupid thing every single time where they always do a midway cut of the song. They'll cut out of the song, and this is a major problem within Vietnamese music, and I'm speaking out against it because I can't stand it anymore. It doesn't matter what era you're from too. It's like old Vietnamese music, new Vietnamese music. All of them have this feeling of they want to stop the music playing to tell you about the story. And that's the worst part, is that it's not like the story is particularly amazing because they present it all on a silver platter and there's no need to think. It's just kind of there, but they just break into a dialogue for a whole minute and a half. And then the music comes in roaring. It's sort of why it's interesting, because they use the pace of the song itself, the way that has the lulls and then the fast paced highs, to bring the song back in after the talking is done. And it pisses me off every single time. I hate it. Personally, I'm not a fan of it. I always think to myself, why do they do this? And I never got a good answer. But I genuinely think it's just some people sucking themselves off. They make really interesting videos for things. Not to say that they don't, but I feel like some artists should just focus on making the music. Like think of like your favorite music videos and how often a lot of them is just a band playing, or if it's telling a story, it's done in a way that doesn't get in the way of the music. Like the music is at a constant pace. It's the same music that you'd hear on the album, but it's almost like a slideshow PowerPoint. Or if it is telling a story, it's done in a way that it relies heavily on subtext to get a lot of the context through. Because otherwise, you need like half an hour to explain things, right? And that's sort of the interesting part of music, is that you can condense a lot of information down into just the beeps and the boops. The feelings that you feel at the moment, both when you wrote the song as well as when you perform it, the feelings that you want people to feel, right? The meaning of things, and so the allegories, I guess that you're drawing in your music, they all are very complex, and it might take you hours to talk about. Like, go look at any breakdown of any Kendrick Lamar song, right? Especially on his new album, GNX. And you sort of see the amount of discussion and the amount of time it takes to break down these references, the amount of foreknowledge that you need. But you can also see this across like multiple different genres. It's not just rap, which is sort of like, I think rap is unique in that you can condense a lot of information, because there's a lot of ways that you can use the words, and there's a lot of ways that you can say them. Even look at something like as simple as, well, I guess not really simple, but what's it called again? Talking Heads. It's the Kermit song. It's the Kermit song. Once in a Lifetime. You look at the breakdown of the lyrics of Once in a Lifetime. You look at the breakdown of the music video, and you realize that holy hell, there's a lot going on here, right? But it's such a simple song, sonically. Like if you just listen to Once in a Lifetime, here. Like, it's a fairly straightforward song to understand. The words used are very simple, but it's the meaning that they're trying to get across that's very complex, that you could spend hours sort of like looking at. I don't think you could write an essay on it, and I don't think you could do sort of the curtains were blue to it, in the sense of like, what did the author mean by this? The curtains represent like a depression or something. But you can do a lot with it, more than I think more than just what's presented, and less than a full essay on it. And it's the fascinating bit of music there that I find that a lot of artists just don't really lead into, and then they make this music video that then throws that whole system out of the just throws that whole system away, and then decides, you know what? I'm gonna explain it to you. And then you sit there in this like exposition music video that has a padded 2.5 minutes worth of content that doesn't say anything new, and I don't understand why so many music videos do this. So when you look at the music video, just know it's not that good. When you listen to the song, know it's very good. When you translate the song, it's very, very good. It's a very interesting song, and I like the way that it paces itself. I love the way that it sounds. I just recognize the flaw of the song is that everybody wants to be like a director of something, and I think that's not a bad thing. I just kind of wish people realize like the best music videos are often made by specifically directors who have a lot of skill within making videos. Or like, you know what it is? Even if you have a lot of skill, I just wish that more directors of these music videos, and maybe even the artists themselves, would properly combine this stuff into one unit and not split the whole thing apart. I just don't know why there's this like weird split. Anyways, that's my daily music rant. I was listening to a lot more Vietnamese music last night. I'm just listening to my whole playlist basically, and I remember going through all these music videos. I think a couple days ago while I was very busy, and I was thinking to myself, "Wow, every single one fucking sucks." They just don't understand how to make it flow. We're gonna move on now into the first of the Finance Day games. Today will also be a somewhat short day, maybe 5-6 hours, not too long. I don't know how long we can actually do this, but it's all, let's say, skills-based trading for something that we're going to be doing later. Please enjoy the invisible hand once I get things started. Alright, cut the stupid fucking affirmations. I don't want to listen to the affirmations anymore, okay? Listen, like, it's tech bros and finance bros. The reason why people hate them is not because they're passionate about what they do. Like, nobody hates somebody who's passionate at, like, what they like to do. The reason why they hate them is because they're so fucking annoying. And they're so like egotistical about their shit, and you just can't help but want to tell them to shut the hell up. Just like I was for a moment, and now I'm back, and so you have to deal with that. Okay. Welcome back, everyone. We're going to play a game called Space Warlord Organ Trading Simulator, which is sort of the logical conclusion and the end of a stock trading scheme that has gone wrong because we no longer have money to make. Because we now owe a ton of money, and so we now need to get into the underground market, and the underground market doesn't care about make-believe money. The underground market doesn't give a shit about make-believe money. The real currency, as seen in that movie, Korean movie, Nobody? Korean movie, Korean movie about a guy who kills organ harvesters. The Man from Nowhere, just like the movie The Man from Nowhere, we know that the only thing that the underground market cares about is organs. Because why bother with fake money when you can have real life and play with it as if it's a toy? Give me a moment to set things up, and we're gonna start trading in the whole new world of finance, in a soon-to-be real reality because of the chart that was dropped recently. The chart. And that's it for me, everyone. As fun as today was, I did not expect stock trading to be that tiring. Sorry, I didn't expect it to be so tiring. But to be fair, today was a short day anyways. I wasn't expecting to go super long. The stock office. I don't know what it's called. I was hoping to get to raid somebody, but instead I got raided. So unfortunately, my plans have gone awry. Instead, I will simply say goodbye and have a good day, and hope that you all have a good time. Remember, think about the price of your penis. Think about the price of your nipple. Okay, you can't put a price on that. Is it valueless? What's the term? It's priceless. It's priceless. Okay? You can't deny the beauty and the pleasure of your organs. Okay? Whatever the organ market says, don't believe them. It doesn't matter. All right? Finance Day was a bad move. My brain hurts, and I hope that all of your brains hurt too. It's not about the price. It's about how you trade the penis. That is the wise word of a, what was it again? Of a Chad sex-having index fund hodler. And as we sign off, I want you all to listen to this ASMR. I am wealthy. Money affirmations for success, health, and wealth. I'm going to sleep, eat, and drink, knowing that there's money flowing into my pockets right at this moment. Because I and the Chad sex having index fund hodler. Goodbye, everyone, and have a great day. And as a reminder, tomorrow is visual novel day. We're going to make a visual novel. If you want to show up to make a visual novel about going on a date with me, because it's going to be a funny little segment that I'm planning, please do come by. It's practice to make this work. Anyways, enjoy the affirmations. Bye, everyone. Think about the money that's going to be in your pocket. Think about the fact that there's hands in your pocket. Think about that. Think about the fact that those hands don't belong to anyone anymore. They're disembodied. Think about the fact that when you woke up, someone shaved all of your nipples off. All 3 of them.